Hi, Gemini. I don't know why I said it like that, but that's how we're Gemini. We're going to look at the next couple of weeks for you, just kind of seeing how things are going to play out, whatever you need to know. It's sort of a storyline reading versus the more constructed readings that I do. Okay. Open intuition and seek clarification. We have balance through something closing, okay? So you might need clarity at this time. You're going to need to rely more on your intuition than your mind, because the mind doesn't have the information yet. It'll come, but it's almost like you need clarity now. So if you need clarity at this time, lean into your intuition, lean into your resonance, or however that might feel for you. We don't always get clarity in the time that we need it, but when we learn to trust our instincts and intuition, we have a much easier time accepting what we don't know yet. And I feel like that's kind of where you're gonna have to play things by ear a little bit. I know it's not always what people want to hear, but here we are. So this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Some of it might be for you, some of it might be for someone else, and you just get to pick and choose what feels good for you. I'm going to do 3 different storylines. You might resonate with all 3, 1 or 2, or parts of each of them, whatever it looks like, okay? You just get to be like, yeah, that's me, or yeah, that doesn't apply to me. Either way, it's all good. There is going to be an extended in the description box below. It's for memberships on here, where I actually break down unlocking your potential with your personal growth, your self-love and connections with others, your prosperity, and how best to co-create with spirit at this time. Okay. If this has helped, please like, share, comment, and or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I have to get that in now because I don't think people watch these to the full end, and that's okay. You get what you get, and you go to town. That's it. All right, so let's take a look. So, what does Gemini need to know for the next couple of weeks? Okay, so the first thing up is kind of standing in your power. We have the Magician, understanding that you have everything you need to do whatever it is you got to do with yourself, okay? Interesting that we have the 9 of Cups, but the cups have not been fulfilled yet, okay? Sometimes that's going to make it really hard for you to stand in your power, hold your vision when your cups don't seem to be being filled at this time, okay? Interesting that we have the 3 of Cups. Normally this is a fate card for me, right? Something is fated, the 3 fates of destiny, whatever that looks like. This kind of feels like, oh, interesting. Okay, because I'm getting 2 different energies here. Because you might be dealing with 2 different groups of people. You might have friends and people that lift you up and that they're kind of like cheerleaders for you. They keep you going, but you might have people that are kind of like giving you the cold shoulder. They might have, like, let's say you're wanting to do something and these people over here have access to doing that, but they're giving you a cold, it's going to be a little bit hard to stand in your power, but understand that if somebody's turning their back on you, that's about them. They might have some issues they got to work out. So lean into the people that keep your breath alive. Lean into the people that keep you uplifted and believing in yourself. And it could just be that this whole thing is so you can recognize who your people are and who your people aren't. And maybe it's not even that you're meant to like reject those other people because they're kind of on a rejection path. Just let them do them. Like, I wouldn't even give them the time of day. I would really lean into the people that make you feel really good about yourself for genuine reasons. There's a genuine intention here that you'll be able to sense and know through your intuition. Okay, let's get the next storyline here. Oh, okay. Interesting that we have the Sun, but see, on this side it's like there's a sense of belonging, connection, kinship, freedom. This does not feel like that. So for this particular storyline, I feel like there may be parts of your life that maybe you can't truly be yourself. You feel kind of confined and constricted by the situation you're in. Maybe you're kind of locked down into an expectation, or you said you'd do something and okay. Let's see. Yeah. I feel like there's something, I don't know if it's a contract, like a work contract, or you said you'd do something, but it feels like a mistake that you said that you would do it and you're realizing it's an awful experience. We have, interesting that we have this, the Four of Pentacles, holding on. This is like holding this. There's a lot of control happening here, Gemini. But I feel like if you can just lean in, I don't know, it's so, this is really hard. I just want to say this. As somebody who is probably a bit of a people pleaser and wanting to do what I say I'm going to do, this is hard because you have to challenge that part of you that wants to stand up for yourself, because whatever it is you agreed to do is just not good for your health and well-being. It could be that you offered to help somebody with something or be a part of something for somebody, but this person feels like a tyrant. And I feel like it's made it really difficult for you to enjoy the experience. And even though the experience isn't about you, it's about this other person because it's their project or it's their thing or whatever it is. It feels very... It's almost like, well, maybe you just have to, whatever it is, I don't think it's going to come to fruition. So you may just have to see how she's got her eyes closed and she's kind of in a meditative state. You may have to just let yourself be in a meditative state to get through this, because I don't think it's going to come to fruition. I think this has been, I mean, I'm going to say you probably agreed to this maybe a year ago or so, maybe less than that. But it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And I don't know. And it could be tied to this first storyline where you're going to realize that maybe whatever it is, I don't think you're going to have to see it through for much longer. But I understand the conundrum you have, because you want to prioritize your well-being, and whatever's happening really isn't right. It's a very immature feeling, immature experience. Like, you know, when someone gets power and it goes to their head, it feels a lot like that. And there's not a lot of mutual respect. So I understand the struggle with that. But I think if you can just let it unfold, you won't have to deal with it much longer without you having to be, quote unquote, the bad guy, right? Nobody wants to be the bad guy. Okay, let's get this third storyline going. Okay. Okay. Oh, interesting. We have an additional card. So I'm going to pull the additional card first. This is looking out onto a new day. Okay, the dawn of a new day. Seeing the potential in something perhaps that was hard to see, because these cards are really interesting. We have, this is the upright version of the Ten of Cups. It's happiness, it's connection, but this is the side that came up for you. This is about recognizing what makes you happy and what doesn't. And the things that don't make you happy are going to be far more obvious right now because of where the energy is at. Okay. Then we have this Ten of Wands, right? Now on this side, this is somebody that's doing all the work, and the people of the village have erected a statue in honor of this person. It's almost a little bit manipulative because it encourages the person to keep bearing the burden, because look at how much we respect and honor you. And this is, you know, they receive love and acceptance for how much they're doing. This card does not say that. This card is somebody who is bearing a lot of the burden. And if that's you, Gemini, maybe it's time to not do that, right? Recognizing what you're responsible for and what you aren't, and knowing that you're worthy of love and acceptance no matter how much of the load you bear, you carry. Okay. We also have the Five of Cups. Okay. This is an interesting, because this is somebody who's aware. Okay, in the reverse card, they're kind of mourning the loss of what once was with these 3 spilled cups. They don't recognize they still have 2 full cups, okay? So when we look at this, they recognize that this is a shit show and they don't want to have anything to do with it, but they're aware. So to me, let's say you're friends with somebody and you have a big friend group. We'll just say this. We'll just use this as an example. And it was your source of connection and what have you, and then you have a falling out with somebody in the group. You'll recognize the people that are still going to be friends with you regardless of what's going on with that person, and the people that aren't going to be friends with you. But there's a part of you that's okay with that because you've made peace with the situation. All right. And I love this. We have change is inevitable. There's a part of you that's accepted that this change, it doesn't mean that the grief won't be there. This is somebody I feel that maybe you used to be happy with. This doesn't feel romantically connected, but there's a deep friendship here. This is somebody that you used to have a lot of fun with and be happy with, and I think they could be very manipulative in getting people to do stuff for them by love bombing them. So you might have been love bombed into being the doer or being the person that did everything or whatever, but it didn't feel that way at the time, but now it does. And there's been some kind of falling out. But it's to recognize that this is balancing certain things for you. Even though it's hard and it's painful sometimes to have a friendship end or a situation that we're used to having in our lives end, I feel like when we get out of that, when we're out of the eye of the storm and we're looking back and we recognize that maybe it wasn't the healthiest situation for us, even though it might have seemed fun or a good time. And I feel like you're ready for the next phase of your life, but trusting your intuition in any one of these scenarios is still going to be key, even if you don't have receipts, okay? Your intuition knows. It will always deliver at some point, okay? All right, what is your mantra at this time? What is your mantra? Oh, I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor. I'm going to give you the other ones, but I'm going to put this one on the board. I love this for you, Gemini, because we are taught that we have to effort for everything we have. You have been taught on some level that your worth relies on how much you can do for other people. And being in service is a beautiful thing, but not when it's at a deficit for you. So I love that you can lean into the good and the happy. You still have people in your life. You still have friends that really respect you and care about you, and you can lean into that. I let the universe catch up with my dreams. And the universe has big plans for me, and it's time to claim them. Yeah, it's time to kind of step out of the shadows and maybe be a little bit of a star of your own, whatever that might mean. So I hope that this has helped. If you want to watch the extended, the link's in the description box below. And if you're still watching, thank you for tuning in this long. Take care and have a good one.